The G20 set an ambitious timeline this week. One of their key goals is to restructure the global banking system by April. Lenders of the emerging economies, including the Middle East, have made it clear that they want to be heard. I spoke to Youssef Ghali. He's Egypt's finance minister, but he's also the first person from an emerging market to chair the IMF's International Monetary and Financial Committee. I asked him if the G20 can meet its deadline.
We can start a process, absolutely. We can start the formulation of certain regulatory practices. We can start sensitizing people to the importance of certain variables, the importance of certain parameters. But I'd be very surprised if we manage to, I'd be pleasantly surprised, but I would be very surprised if we manage to get anything sort of finalized by then.
In terms of the Middle East, it seems that Western governments like Prime Minister Brown were willing to ask the Gulf leaders and governments of the region for capital, but not formally giving them a seat around the table. Can we get over that hurdle where they have an actual formal voice within a G15 or G20?
The G8 is better than G4, G20 is better than G8, and the higher you go, the better it is. But of course, there are issues of efficiency. You can run a meeting and come to some agreement between 8 members. It's more difficult at 20, and it's almost impossible at anything beyond 30. So the issue is inclusion. How do you make sure that everybody gets included in the decision-making process and have still an efficient decision-making process? The fact that a number of Arab countries have been asked to contribute should also come with the fact that they are asked to participate in the decisions. I don't know how the equation will be resolved, but it is an issue of legitimacy that has much broader consequences than just one country or the other.
Very pointed question. Would you be satisfied with Saudi Arabia representing a broader Middle East at that table?
The problem is, would the broader Middle East be satisfied with it? I don't speak for the broader Middle East, but I think that what you want to do is have a representation that understands the various problems that a certain group of countries face. And therefore, you would want a country that has more or less the same problems as you do, that has the same worldview in the sense of the same challenges that you face, and that can speak with a certain knowledge of the intricacies of management of your economy.
You're coming off of great growth of 7.2% last year. During this downturn, can you hold on to 5.5% growth for fiscal year 08-09?
Look, I'm keeping my fingers crossed. We haven't seen the end of this problem, and we haven't seen the end of this crisis. My suspicion is there are still surprises lurking in the shadows. Once these surprises come forward, and we know that we have reached the very bottom of the crisis and we're looking up, then I'll be able to tell you. Right now, I'm keeping my fingers crossed as to how low the growth rate will come.
I know you've been quite critical of President Bush and the inability to get a free trade agreement with the United States. Do you think this will change under the new administration of President Obama?
We have to wait till we see what the new administration will want to do, what their view of the world is, how they think the U.S. should be playing a role in the world economy. We have to wait and